Hello, everybody, and today we are doing the ultimate Star Wars ranking video. So, all opinions are valid, and I'm here to say what my top Star Wars movies and shows are, and I'm doing some of the Lego specials as well. I don't know if the holiday specials on here, but anyway, let's get started. It's going to be a long list, but it's worth a shot. So let's start with the original trilogy. So this is too obvious, but the original trilogy is some of my favorite movies of all time. Without it, I don't even know what I'd be with Star Wars. But I love New Hope for the story it told with Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han Solo, and would love Darth Vader. And there's so many iconic scenes I can go over, but without this, there probably wouldn't be Star Wars. But thank you to all that did New Hope. But for Empire Strikes Back, it's definitely a stepper up to New Hope. And it's definitely intense. And it's got some of the best plot twists of all time in movie history. The "No, I am your father." Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. But the Empire Strikes Back is definitely a satisfying sequel for sure. Just a lot going on. But for Return of the Jedi, it's also an S. Some people have issues with the Return of the Jedi for some reason. Like, they're just nitpicks, honestly. But I love the original trilogy, so it gets an S. So next is the prequel trilogy. So, prequels were a bit controversial back then. But I gotta say, there's some aspects I like, and there's some things that don't work for me. But for the Phantom Menace, I have a soft spot for the Phantom Menace. I mean, I like the Darth Maul lightsaber fight. I do like characters like Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn. Young Anakin didn't really do it for me, and Jar Jar, no. But it does have fun aspects like the pod race. And apparently this movie was highly advertised back then. I don't know if I didn't grow up during that time, but if you did, you can comment it below. But the Phantom Menace was super fun to rewatch at theaters for its, I think, the 25th anniversary, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'd probably give Phantom Menace a B. Okay, for Attack of the Clones, it's easily not my favorite Star Wars movie, but there are aspects I do like about Attack of the Clones. I like the Geonosians arena. I like Jango Fett. The fight between him and Obi-Wan. I like the concept of the clone troopers, the Clone Wars, and the fight between Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, then Yoda. That scene is super awesome. But yeah, most of the romance stuff is it's cringy to watch. I mean, it makes sense that's in the movie since it shows the downfall of Anakin Skywalker. But overall, it kind of just makes me bored throughout the movie. But there are some intense scenes of Anakin with him in the Tusken. So yeah, there is heart in this movie, like all the other Star Wars movies. So I'd probably give this movie maybe a C. Okay, Revenge of the Sith. I'd probably give this an S because Revenge of the Sith is easily the most intense Star Wars movie in my opinion. It's the PG-13 rating, if you don't realize. But originally I was not allowed to watch this, but now I am. Even when I was 5 years old, my parents gave it an okay. Not at first, but they gave the okay to watch this movie. Even though it's probably just like the Anakin burning scene. Yeah, there's some, maybe people can point out the nitpicks in this movie, but overall, it's definitely a satisfying end to the prequel trilogy. It ties everything together. Luke, Leia are born for the original trilogy. Obi-Wan's on Tatooine. Anakin becomes Darth Vader, and it's the loss and darkness that's behind this movie. And gave us some of the best lightsaber fights in the prequel saga and all of Star Wars, in my opinion. But yeah. Okay, next is now the controversial sequel trilogy. So, you people are probably wondering or already know what my opinions are on these movies. So, I have a lot of nostalgia for the sequels because it got to be my first Star Wars movie. Newer Star Wars movies in theaters I got to see. It was super fun. And it felt like a magical moment, like going back to the theater. But The Force Awakens was a lot of fun to watch, and yeah, people probably can acknowledge it. It's similar to A New Hope, and yeah, but it's still I find it a fun movie to watch. I do like characters like Kylo Ren, and the scene between him and Han Solo, easily my favorite scene. It's definitely the most touching scene of the movie, and yeah, spoilers, Han Solo does die, but he dies trying to talk to his son. And I do like some of the newer characters, but wish they were more further explored. But overall, I'd give The Force Awakens an A. Last Jedi, probably the most controversial Star Wars movie of all time. You either like it or you don't like it. All opinions are valid, but yeah, I enjoyed The Last Jedi. There are aspects I did not like about the movie. I didn't care for characters like DJ. I didn't care for the Canto Bite stuff. It kind of just dragged the movie a lot. But once they did like the stuff with Rey and like Luke Skywalker, they explored the Force in a different way. And then like Luke Skywalker finally learns to accept failure is the greatest lesson of all. And he finally steps up, forgiving himself for almost giving into the darkness like he did with his father and also with Ben Solo. So yeah, the movie definitely is not what you expect from a Star Wars movie. So I'd give it an A. Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, I had fun when I saw it in theaters, but overall the movie has issues. Like, I did not like the return of Palpatine. Palpatine's return, it felt like they were just doing it just to do it. Like, and they just said, so we gotta have a big bad guy return. So let's just have Palpatine. And they don't really explain it. And yeah, it's explained in a book, but like, I don't need to read a book to understand it. But my best guess, it was cloning. And it kind of just felt like it could have been a bigger finale to Star Wars, since, it's the end of the Skywalker saga. But yeah, nitpicks aside, there are some fun aspects in the movie. It's just like it could have been a better finale in my opinion. So I'd give it a C. Rogue One. Okay, so I really like Rogue One. But the issue with Rogue One is just I wish they explored some of the characters a lot more. But that's why we got shows like Andor to explore Cassian Andor and the rise of the rebellion. But it's definitely the more exciting Star Wars movies, like with the Battle of Scarif. That was a lot of fun. The intensity of the Battle of Scarif was definitely fun to watch. And yeah, and the Darth Vader scene was super awesome. So I'll probably give Rogue One an A. But next is Solo. So yeah, a lot of people are about Solo, but I think the movie's underappreciated in my opinion. Like, Solo, it explores, like, the crime aspect of the Star Wars. But, what makes the movie fun is just, like, I like Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. I hope he does return as a younger Han Solo. I like his relationship with Kira. Donald Glover as Lando was a highlight. But yeah, the Darth Maul cameo scene, it was kind of confusing for some audiences, since some people may not know Darth Maul's alive. But overall, Solo was a fun movie, for sure. Okay, next we're at the TV shows, so this should be fun. Okay, The Mandalorian. So I really liked season 1 of the show. It was definitely a different Star Wars show. It goes smaller scale, with like a smaller story with like Mando and Grogu. But I like that relationship between the two characters. But each episode feels like its own overall arcing story. It leads to a pretty good finale that sets up season 2 pretty well. So I'd probably give The Mandalorian an S. It was definitely a big highlight for live action Star Wars. We finally got our live action Star Wars show. But next is season 2. A lot of people, for some reason, don't like season 2 because they're inserting in familiar characters. And I'm cool with that because it connects to the larger galaxy. Because I do like how small scale season 1 was, but season 2, they can connect more with certain characters, like Mando meets Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, and Luke Skywalker at the end, and it's super nostalgic to watch. I remember being super excited watching Mando Season 2. So it was definitely a lot of fun. So, S. The Mandalorian Season 3. So, there are some issues with Mando Season 3 for me, but overall, I think I had a fun time with Mando Season 3. It kind of was going how I wasn't expecting. Sometimes the story felt like it was, kind of just, they were doing stories just to fill in runtime. Sometimes Mando could have been in it longer. In my opinion, they were focusing on the characters on Coruscant. But yeah, and some people were mad all because of Bo-Katan being the boss of the Mandalorians, even though the story was meant for her to return the Darksaber. But it does have a good finale, with Bo and Din being a good duo against Moff Gideon, and it was a pretty good finale, and it sets up for, I guess, the Mando Grogu movie that's coming out. I think it was supposed to be season 4, but overall, Mando season 3 is a fun season. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So, the Obi-Wan show is definitely controversial, but overall, I think I enjoyed the Obi-Wan show. I think it has a lot of heart towards Obi-Wan. And some people had issue with Obi-Wan's character, but let's stop talking about the issues people have. Let's talk about what we like. But Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader was a lot of fun. I was iffy about it at first, but they pulled it off pretty well. It makes sense why Obi-Wan would say, "I was but the learner, now I am the master." That's what Vader says, but it shows how Vader and Obi-Wan are mysterious towards each other. And he even refers to him as Darth at the end of their battle. And it was super fun to watch. And him trying to save Leia. It shows how Leia met Obi-Wan or knows who he is. Or how Bail trusts Obi-Wan. A lot of people just have issue with that. But I don't know. I don't understand Star Wars fans anymore. But overall, the Obi-Wan show is definitely a fun show. For sure. The Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett's okay. The stuff with the Tuskens was pretty decent, but then the show kind of just shifts to Mando. And yeah, it made me kind of realize the first few episodes are kind of boring. But overall, the Book of Boba Fett could have been a lot better. Honestly, it should have just been Boba Fett bounty hunting, but it's a decent idea to explore him being a crime lord. So I'd probably give the Book of Boba Fett probably a C. Andor. So Andor is definitely highly liked by Star Wars fans. Andor is definitely a great show in my opinion. It's definitely the best looking Star Wars show. And yeah, it does have pacing issues in my opinion, because when I originally watched it and reviewed it, I said it was hard. I probably said it was boring, but there's a lot of goodness to Andor, because it shows the rising rebellion against the Empire. It shows how the Empire is growing, and it shows that there can be hope in our characters, which is Andor fighting against the Empire. It starts off with him on the run, then it goes to his small rebellion arc, and then he goes to the prison, and the prison arc was easily the best in the show. But I'm looking forward to what they do with Season 2. It should be super fun. So I'd probably give Andor an S. Or how about an A? So yeah, that might be controversial, but next is the Ahsoka show. So Ahsoka was a lot of fun. If you're a deep Star Wars Rebels fan, some people say you have to watch this or you won't understand it. But honestly, you can just watch Rebels. That's simple to understand Ahsoka. But there's a lot to enjoy about this show. It finally answers the stuff with I've been waiting answered for Star Wars Rebels ever since season 4 of the show. But the Ahsoka show was definitely really good with there's some fan service in the show, but overall it's a fun show. So I'd probably give Ahsoka an S. And I got to meet Iman Espini, who played Ezra in the show, and it was super awesome meeting him. Thank you to him. Okay, next is The Acolyte, the very controversial Acolyte. And then we're finished with all the Star Wars TV shows. So, I gotta be honest, before, I probably will review The Acolyte soon, I just haven't made the time. The Acolyte was okay, in my opinion. I don't know, I couldn't really connect with the characters all that much, and I was wanting newer characters for Star Wars, but the character I really liked was the Stranger. That character I really liked. And it's unfortunate the show got canceled because they probably can't even explore other stuff. But, like, The Acolyte was definitely, could have been a lot better, but it does explore the High Republic era, and we got our cameo of Darth Plagueis, which was awesome. So I'd probably give The Acolyte probably a D. I think I need to rewatch it, honestly, but there's a lot of mystery behind the show. But yeah, I felt like the outrage towards the show kind of just ruined the experience for me for this show. But yeah, that's my fault on The Acolyte. So next is Star Wars Clone Wars micro series. So this was easily a awesome Star Wars show. It's a bunch of shorts, but if you watch it on Disney Plus, it's just one long movie. It ties into the Clone Wars really well. It has really intense action between like Anakin versus Asajj Ventress. We got awesome clone scenes. We got and we got like the stellar animation by Dara Tarkovsky, who did Samurai Jack, and that was super awesome. So yeah, the Clone Wars micro series definitely really good and ties into Revenge of the Sith really well. So S. Next is the Clone Wars movie. It's definitely a decent episode. It kind of just feels like a long episode. It was kind of pointless to make it a movie. But there are some really good stuff in the movie, like the introduction of Ahsoka. That was really good. But yeah, the story is mainly fine. It's about Anakin, Ahsoka delivering Rada the Hutt to Jabba. It honestly could have just been a few episodes of the show. But I don't mind watching the Clone Wars movie, but I don't really... It's kind of weird just calling it a movie. But overall, I'd probably give the Clone Wars movie a B. I did review it on my channel. Next is the Clone Wars series. Ooh, I can't wait. So season 1 of the Clone Wars. Easily, some people don't like it because they think it's childish for some reason. But I actually really like the Clone Wars season 1. We get like good arcs of like them trying to chase General Grievous. We get good arcs with the clones. We get some ties to like the movie. But there's a bunch of episodes that are out of order season 1. But once we get to like season 4, I think that's when the show stopped being out of order. But season 1 was definitely a highlight for sure. So I'd give the Clone Wars season 1 an A. Season 2 was definitely really good. We got the arc of Cad Bane, which was really good. We got the Zillo Beast. That was a lot of fun. There's just a lot of like good episodes in the Clone Wars. But once after season 2, I think that's where the show gets really good and intense. So but yeah, some people are saying Clone Wars is the top Star Wars. I definitely agree. Season 3 of the Clone Wars is good because they introduce characters like Savage Opress, the Night Sisters. There's a bunch of cool stuff in the Clone Wars season 3. The season does end with like Ahsoka meeting Chewbacca in the show, which was nice. But yeah, there's some fun arcs, like I think the Citadel arc, which was interesting. We also got the Mortis arc, which is definitely the different side of Star Wars. So probably S. Okay, I think these seasons are some of the top Star Wars in my opinion. Clone Wars Season 4 was easily the most intense arc because we got the return of Darth Maul. Easily the top highlight. Really good stuff, and I already reviewed it on my channel. But I think Season 5 is my favorite because we get like arcs of like the D Squad, we got the Padawan arc, we got we do see, well, after these episodes, we get the Darth Maul arc, which goes full awesome mode. We get, like, Darth Maul, Savage Opress versus Darth Sidious. But even after that arc, we get the arc of, like, the Ahsoka arc where she leaves the Jedi Temple. And that was the original ending for the Clone Wars, but because the show got canceled, it got renewed on Netflix, which is why we got season 6. But the Lost Missions are definitely a good arc. Even though it's only a few episodes, like the episodes with Fives, which was really good. We got, like, I think we got the Clovis arc. We got the Yoda arc, which explains how Yoda found Dagobah. And some people don't think the Clone Wars holds up. In my opinion, the Clone Wars is some of the top Star Wars. Without this, we probably wouldn't get what we got in Star Wars today. But Clone Wars Lost Missions, probably an A. The Clone Wars Season 7. Okay, so yeah, the Clone Wars Season 7, the Bad Batch arc was decent. The Martez sister arc was meh. But the Siege of Mandalore is some of the best Star Wars ever. It's cliche to say, but I overall like this arc of Star Wars. It's some of my favorite moments. It ties into the Revenge of the Sith really well. It explains Ahsoka and what she did during Order 66. It's really intense and some of the best Star Wars ever. Enough said. But next is Star Wars Rebels. So Star Wars Rebels is probably one of my favorite shows of all time. Same goes with the Clone Wars, but Star Wars Rebels, I think Season 1 was easily my favorite. No, it's probably Season 4, but Season 1, a lot of people don't like that season because they think it's, like, silly or whatever reason. But the show does really well with, like, I think, like, some of the Jedi episodes are really good, like, with the Inquisitor. But the series does end with, like, Darth Vader Season 1, and that was really good. And yeah, we get episodes of other characters. Some of the episodes probably do feel like filler episodes, but overall, I think they're fun stories. Overall. But Season 2, where it gets really good, where they're going up against Darth Vader, and we see the return of Ahsoka, and we see the new Inquisitors, and we get really good episodes. And some alright episodes. But Star Wars Rebels Season 2 is easily the best because we got the return of Darth Maul again. And the iconic Ahsoka versus Vader. That is like the top Star Wars in my opinion. But Season 3 is really good because we got the introduction of Grand Admiral Thrawn. And we do get Darth Maul. He's only in 3 episodes. But overall, they explore the Rebellion era for once the Rebels are on Abeloth. And yeah, they do get interesting characters like the Bendu, which is interesting part of Star Wars. But overall, Season 3 is definitely a good season. And we get like episodes like the Trials of the Darksaber. And we do see characters like Agent Callus, who becomes the Rebellion, who joins the Rebellion, which was, I thought that arc was really good. But the finale with Thrawn was really good, so overall Season 3, top Star Wars. But Season 4 is definitely better than the other seasons. We see the entire Star Wars Rebels show come together, where all our characters take a final stand at Lothal, and we do see the intense death of Kanan Jarrus. Definitely a sad scene. Most easily the most iconic sacrifice of Star Wars. But we also get like the world between worlds. This is stuff I really like to see in the future of Star Wars. Maybe in Ahsoka Season 2. But Season 4 was definitely a high note in the Star Wars like finales, if you call it. So I'd probably give this season an S. But Star Wars Rebels shorts, these ones are fine. They're just smaller scale episodes. So not really much to say. So probably just give it like a B, a low B. Okay, Star Wars Resistance. Okay. Star Wars Resistance, yeah, the show's probably the weakest of the animated stuff. But there are fun episodes, in my opinion. Kaz, he's definitely a funny protagonist. He's clumsy, but some of the best episodes are probably with the Poe episodes. But yeah, there's some silly episodes, but there's an overall arcing story with it, and I do think the finale was decent. But yeah, Resistance probably a C. Same season 2. I actually didn't really like it when I first saw it, but my main problem with Resistance is just it doesn't really explore the sequel trilogy era all that much. We get glimpses of the stories in the with like Poe, Leia. We do see Kylo Ren this season, even though he was only referenced. But overall, it's just mainly focusing on the Colossus. And some of the episodes are them trying to save the Colossus. But once they got to the First Order episodes, those were probably the most interesting episodes. And we see characters like Tam, who go through the trials of the First Order because she believes they're here to save the stop the resistance, but she soon learns how corrupt they are. But that story was interesting. But overall, Resistance Season 2 could have been a lot better, in my opinion. So I'd probably give it a C. Resistance shorts, I don't really remember them, so I'd probably just give it a D. Okay, next is The Bad Batch. A lot of people are about The Bad Batch, but I think The Bad Batch is some of the best Star Wars, in my opinion, because we get we're finally get answers of what happened to the clones. And we see the overall arcing story of The Bad Batch. Some of the characters don't really get explored too much, but overall The Bad Batch is a fun show, in my opinion. And things do get intense in Season 2 once they killed off Tech. Spoiler. But the overall Season 3 of the show was where things get really good, where everything felt consistent. And it had a pretty good finale. It was intense, fun, dark. And that's what we needed from a finale of The Bad Batch. The clones can finally be free for once in their lifehood. So, yeah, The Bad Batch is probably an A. Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi was definitely an interesting show, in my opinion. The Ahsoka episodes, yeah, they explore, her origin, and then, what she did during Revenge after, I guess, Padme's funeral, and her fighting an Inquisitor. But yeah, those episodes are pretty decent, but the Dooku episodes are really good, because they explore Count Dooku really well, in his origin, his downfall, what led to him joining the Sith. So I'd give Tales of the Jedi probably a B. And we also got Yaddle, which was good. Tales of the Empire, the controversial Tales of the Empire. I think Tales of the Empire could have been a lot better. I've already reviewed it on my channel. I was disappointed with Tales of the Empire. The trailer was super cool, but yeah, the Morgan Elsbeth episodes could have been a lot better. They were kind of just filling in the gaps about the character, it's not a bad thing, but they kind of just didn't make it interesting, in my opinion. And the Paris Offie, we've been wondering what happened to Paris Offie. But yeah, I was a bit surprised they changed her character back to her Jedi ways, because in Season 5, she framed Ahsoka for bombing the Jedi Temple, but now she's back on the good side. It's confusing, but Tales of the Empire could have been a lot better. Star Wars Visions, I like Star Wars Visions. They're kind of just fun stories where the Star Wars team can kind of just be creative, but with anime. So I'd probably give it a B. So yeah, not much thought about them. I probably need to rewatch them. But overall, Star Wars Visions is definitely a fun show. I don't know why I didn't review it on my channel. I have not seen the Young Jedi Adventures. Star Wars Blip, they're cute. Just little shorts with R2, C-3PO, and BB-8. Yeah, not much to really say about them, so I'd probably just give it a C. Okay, The Forces of Destiny. That show is controversial in my opinion. But The Forces of Destiny, I just do not like that animation style at all. I just do not like how the characters look. But yeah, it was meant to promote a doll series, which was a Barbie doll series or whatever. I don't know. But they had some decent stories of like how Leia got her bounty hunter uniform. There's some Star Wars Rebels connections in some of the episodes. Yeah, but overall, fine stories. Not much to say about them. So yeah, I'd probably give it a D. Okay, Galaxy of Adventures. I actually really like these shorts because like it has smooth animation and it has like they do clips of the movies. But yeah, it was really good. And yeah, they use audio from the movies for some reason, which kind of took me back. But overall, I think Galaxy of Adventures is a fun Star Wars show. I've not seen any of these. Ugh, this ad's in the way. The Grogu short. It was cute. That's all I gotta say. Not much to say. Not seen this. So yeah, none of the Young Jedi Adventures I've not seen. The Star Wars Holiday Special. Not much. You already know the answer to this one. I think we'll review it on this channel this year. We'll have to wait and see. Star Wars Droids. I don't really like the animation of that show, but from the episodes I've seen, they're cute. It has R2 and 3PO. I guess it's just meant to promote R2 and C-3PO since, we love those guys. So, yeah, not much to say about droids. But it was definitely interesting for its time for what Star Wars animation looked like back then. But, Ewoks. I've not watched Ewoks, and I don't think I want to. Next are the infamous Ewok movies. The Ewok movies, they're boring. And I don't see the point of them. It did not have interesting human protagonists. The second one has a decent role with, like, Winford Brimley's character. I don't even know why he's in the movie. But, overall, the Ewok movies, they do explore some of the EU aspects, like the Night Sister witch, and some of the mystery behind Endor. But, overall, the Ewok movies are pretty meh. Okay, Revenge of the Brick. I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie, even though the animation looks really weird in my opinion. But overall, Revenge of the Brick, probably give it a C just for nostalgia. Yeah, I think it was meant to promote Revenge of the Sith, which was interesting, but that animation, I do not like that. The Quest for R2-D2. I really like that special. Even though Star Wars used to have this obsession with R2-D2 going missing, and they even made a web game on this little short. And it has the Clone Wars animation design characters, and yeah, it's a cute special. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. The Padawan Menace. I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. That's probably what I'm going to say a lot, but I remember recording this on TV, and I really liked this special. It even came with a young kid Han Solo, which was cool. But overall, this special was a lot of fun. Yeah, with like Yoda and stuff. So, yeah. B. Next is The Empire Strikes Out. This episode, I wasn't really too sure about this one. But it's funny. With like, it has like, I guess it takes place after New Hope, but overall it's a fun special. It has Darth Maul in it. I did like the Darth Maul Death Star in it. That was funny. But yeah, I don't remember this one too much, but it was fun. The Star Wars Holiday Special, the Lego one, that one was a lot of fun. It explores like time travel in Star Wars, but in the sequel era, like they go to the originals, the prequels. It's kind of just like grabbing all your Star Wars toys and just playing with them, and that special was a lot of fun. So A. The Halloween special, I remember. I don't remember the last time I watched it, but it was fun. They do explore like the Knights of Ren in that show. But overall, I think it was a decent special. So, A. The Summer Vacation one. That one was fun. It explores, like, summer tales with the Star Wars characters. And they even explore the that cruiser, that Star Wars Galaxy cruiser, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I need to rewatch these specials, honestly. I didn't review this one on my channel. I don't remember why. But yeah, the Yoda Chronicles, I like the Yoda Chronicles. That one was a lot of fun. I remember playing the game of it. So I probably give that one a A. It's hard to find actually but explores like characters like Jack 14, which is like clone Jedi, whatever you want to call it. Next is Droid Tales. It just retells the Star Wars saga, not the sequels because they didn't come out at the time, but explores like that version of the original trilogy. It's kind of like Family Guy, but Star Wars Lego. So yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for this one as well. And yeah, they do like a mystery with R2-D2 being kidnapped, but it's revealed to be Lando this whole time, that was fun. But yeah, it just retells the movies, honestly. But it's a lot of fun to watch. It's just like a satire. That's fun. The Freemaker Adventures. Okay, no one talks about the Freemaker Adventures. I don't know why. It explores between the original trilogy with like Rowan Freemaker and his family, his brother and sister, and how they join. It first is like them trying to be scavengers, but then eventually they join the rebellion in the show, and they go up against MOZ, and he was a cool villain. I need to rewatch the Freemakers, honestly. All these LEGO specials, I'd love to rewatch. So I give the Freemaker Adventures an A. A lot of fun with that show. Resistance Rises. That one was alright special. I guess they fill into the gaps with what happens before The Force Awakens. Little short, so yeah, not much to say. Star Wars All-Stars. That one explores like various areas of Star Wars. Random, I guess what was coming out at the time. The sequels and Solo. But it does some ties of like what happens after the Freemaker Adventures, which was cool. And oops. Ew. But yeah, the All Stars is definitely fun. So yeah, maybe I should review all the LEGO Star Wars specials. So yeah. Next is Rebuild the Galaxy. That one took me by surprise because that takes the whole Star Wars Lego in a completely different way. It explores Jedi Bob, finally, and it has, like, Darth Jar Jar. It's just, like, a bunch of Star Wars what-ifs, but in a very crazy way. And the plot twist at the end was definitely unexpected. Go check it out, though. So, Rebuild the Galaxy is probably the best of these LEGO specials, in my opinion. But I hope they do more LEGO Star Wars. But we'll have to wait and see. So here's my Star Wars ranking. I've been talking way too much in this video. But, yeah. Some of my favorites Star Wars is the movies. And some of the best Star Wars shows are, like, on this list. It has some of the best peak Star Wars of what makes Star Wars Star Wars. And I'm here to see all aspects of Star Wars, in my opinion. But, what's your ranking of Star Wars? And have you seen all these? So, anyway, with that being said, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.